Above 9 p.m. and I don't need to see one.
Yeah, that's why. I just had to cup with ice, man. That's my own drink in there. So.
Girl, you better have your butt in class. Okay? I love you too, boo-boo. I do. Now my daughter, she's 15, she on Instagram.
Oh. Gotta watch him.
And we are back right here on the #1 rated business show. Got a special show for you today. We are talking about food and just upscale dining and catering. In studio with me, I got Chef Shu Washington.
What's going on, everybody?
I can't believe I got it right.
Yes, you got it right. Chef Shu, how y'all doing?
From Sankofa Catering, and you are a Douglasville native.
I am local here in Douglasville. Yes, sir.
All right, and we are right here live from Atlanta West Studios out in the beautiful city of Douglasville.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it's a blessing for all of us to be here because we close.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So you just recently opened your business.
Just recently opened my new catering facility there. Business has been live for the last 7 years, since November 17th. Not that I'm a Q, but I like that number. So I like that date. But we've been live for about 7 years, but we just opened our own catering kitchen along with a couple offices and things like that. So yeah, we're new here in Douglasville, live in the building, that type of stuff.
Now tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been in the what do they call it?
The culinary field.
In the culinary world.
Well, that's kind of funny. I've been in the culinary world for the past 7 years. Before that, I was in corporate America.
Okay.
I did my corporate America thing for 14 years. Before that, graduated college and things like that.
Okay.
But I always go back to where I started from, and it's actually cooking.
Okay.
It's so funny. I talked to my stepbrother yesterday. He's like, "You sound like you're in the kitchen." I said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "You've been doing that for a long time." I was like, I guess he said, "You've always cooked. You always took care of people.
Okay.
Now you're doing it for a business." And it feels like I'm not working at all because that's what I do. I enjoy being hospitable to people and taking care of people. So yeah. So that's what I did. I did the 14 years in corporate America, learned how to do everything for your own business.
Okay.
And then I just finally took it upon myself and say, you know what? Let me step out on faith, and here we are.
See, I love folks that think like me because I was one of those type of people too. I worked in the corporate world. I love you too, boo-boo. But I worked in the corporate world for a long time, and what came to me was, if I can sit here and make all these millions of dollars for y'all, I know I can go do something for myself.
Absolutely.
So, because so many people, they have these great jobs and this type of stuff, but they never relate. I can use these same skills that I'm learning and getting experience in for myself. So I just love that you took, that mindset and that initiative to come out and create your own thing.
Yes, sir.
Now tell us a little bit about your catering business and this type of stuff. I know you got a beautiful facility. Y'all got office spaces and all this type of stuff. Y'all serving food. You ain't bring none. I ain't mad at you. It's all right. And I am hungry. But now tell us a little bit about your catering service. What type of dishes do you serve?
We specialize in Caribbean food, Southern soul food, as well as West African food.
Okay.
I like to start from the beginning with Sankofa. Sankofa is actually a West African Adinkra symbol, which means return to your roots.
Wow.
Go back and pick up what you lost. As you see, it's like a bird that's flying, but the neck is turning back to get an egg that it forgot. Well, still flying forward. So going to West Africa, seeing all the Adinkra symbols and seeing that one, it really stuck to my heart. So when I started my business, that was it, Sankofa. It has a couple different signs. You have the one here, and then we also have one that looks kind of like a heart, and that's where hospitality comes in at. Everybody wants to talk about pineapples, but we're going to talk about the heart in hospitality because that's what we do. Our motto is where service and quality meet. It's a lot of people out there giving you some great food and things like that, but the service aspect is missing. So that's where we come in and offer the service aspect where we can make sure that you're totally hands off. If you hire us to do the job, we're going to go above and beyond what you hired us to do. And that's what we do. But back to our new kitchen that we just built, 2,500 square feet. We took it from an old dentist office.
Wow.
Everything is new in there except for the hand wash sink and one handicap rail. So we totally redid everything. But we have office spaces in there, like you mentioned. But we also have something what I really hold near and true to my heart is what we call a chef station, chef kitchen.
Okay.
a chef table rather, where you and 7 of your guests want to come in and do a private dinner. We can host that for you right there in our facility, as well as a room for my tastings for my clients who want to maybe hire us. Give them an opportunity to come in and see the facility where the food's actually prepared and cooked, as well as get a chance to meet the chef. So that's what we're doing there. Then also we're going to offering cooking classes, charcuterie classes, date nights. That's another one.
Charcuterie classes?
Charcuterie, yes, sir.
What is that?
That's that meat and cheese. You know, we grew up on Lunchables.
Okay.
But we just took it, you just elevated it a little bit. You know, with the meat and cheese and the fruit and crackers and things like that. You know, that's what we're
so I can actually come in and get some cooking classes and this
absolutely
stuff from.
We start from the children with knife skills 101, which is very important, all the way up to date nights where you come in and you actually making the meal that you're going to eat at the end of the night. So yeah,
no, that's something I might have to take you up on, because my kids will tell you I am a great cook. I have no recipes whatsoever. I just throw some stuff in there. I know I got like 5 seasons that I know. It's cumin, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and some red pepper. I can do anything with them.
All right.
I'm trying to expand though.
Well, you've come into my pantry. You be like, Chef, what you got going on? I have all types of seasonings. I make a lot of my own as well. But that way it's nothing that's repetitive. It's going to be.
You said you make your own season.
I do have a few seasons that I make for myself personally. Haven't got them licensed yet, but that's coming as well. So.
now, what are some things I can come in there and learn how to cook for myself?
I always start with the basics and find out what you like and what you don't like. But most people, you know, they say salmon has a chokehold on our people. We'll start off with salmon. I have about 45 different preparations of salmon. Well, we can take that and take it to the next step. Cumin brings it. I give you the Mexican aspect of it. But we can take a Mediterranean aspect. We can take an Indian aspect. We can take a Southern aspect. We can do a lot of different things with salmon. So salmon, the actual protein, the fish is going to be your base. And then we're going to take it a notch further from that. And then work on your plating and things like that, just to set it above and beyond everything else. So yeah, so that's those types of things that we're doing. You know, a lot of people want to try the different things with their seafoods, or a lot of clients even going, you know, plant-based. I'm not going to necessarily say vegan, but plant-based, you know, keep away from the dairy and stuff like that.
Vegan and it's like the way you can be a true vegan is you can't drink milk. You can't have nothing with animal proteins in and all that type of stuff. I was like, look, I stopped eating meat. I don't care what you want to call me.
It's I'm actually a pescatarian, but you know, let's get away from the titles.
I went the pescatarian route too.
You went there,
So then I had to add some chicken back in there because I was so tired of eating salmon and tilapia. I got to be honest with you.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that really set me free. It's a young lady I met, and her hashtag was "might be vegan." She might be vegan today. She might not be tomorrow. She said, don't put her in the class. I was like, that's a good way to do, because I'm pescatarian, but if I'm making some food, I do have to taste it. And there's certain things that just kind of get me. If I'm smoking a brisket for a client, I got to make sure that smoke rings in there, and I have to make sure it's juicy, and you can only do that by taste. So, so things like that. So don't hold it against me, but I have cut out a lot of different things. But my whole goal is to make sure that the people who don't have those proteins have something that's suitable for them to eat, and something that's really delicious. Not saying that they're going to miss out. One of the things I make vegan or plant-based is a couple things I can talk about specifically. I'm making some today is a rasta pasta. So a jerk pasta, making it plant-based style. So no dairy, no meat, things like that. And then we have a potato curry that we actually had our tasting. And a lot of people like, you sure this vegan? Yes, I am sure. So coconut milk and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we do those things.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I cannot stand about vegan food.
What's that?
It was a simple fact. Everything has got what is that? Quinoa in it.
Quinoa.
And I was like, I'm so sick of tired. And then one thing I didn't realize when I first became vegan, they serve a lot of that stuff to you cold.
Yes, indeed.
Like everybody else got hot food at the table and this type of stuff. And here y'all go with this little plate of nuts. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah. So my wife and I had an event in Hawaii earlier this month. Yeah. So on the way there, the vegan option or the plant-based option was tofu salad. And I looked at this, I'm like, the best thing they had on there was a pineapple. Hands down, because everything else was like, are you really want somebody
tofu is like that styrofoam that you just add flavor into, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And they forgot about that second part. They got the styrofoam, but they didn't get the flavoring portion. It was like went in my bag and got me some treats or whatever. But so I definitely try to make sure there's a great option for all my clients. If there's someone who's plant-based or just want to stay with your meat, make sure they have full flavor. Full flavor. My wife was a vegan for a year. Now she's a non-dairy pescatarian. Go figure, right? So she's really stretched me outside of my comfort zone, which I'm happy about because I can offer that to more and more clients. Okay. Thanksgiving around the corner, have my clients who gluten-free, vegan, and dairy-free. So I have to make sure they have some options that's good for them.
Now, you are a family man. I did read you got children, you got a wife, and y'all got a beautiful just life out here in the beautiful Douglasville.
Yes,
I gotta keep saying that if I may.
Yes, but she's a nice lady as well.
Yes, she is. But tell me, what's family life like? Because I know a lot of times for us entrepreneurs, trying to be focused on success, trying to get out here and get this business going, and you're thinking about the legacy you're leaving for your kids. But a lot of times that's shortening that time at home. What's the family life like?
Family life is awesome. What I've started to do is incorporate family into my business.
Okay.
So my wife, she actually is renting one of the offices for her home-based business, or her business. Can't say home-based any longer because she's not at home. So she's renting it from office. So we do a lot of things hand in hand. And I found over these 17 years that having somebody behind you or beside you, kind of behind you, pushing you, beside you, holding you up, in front of you, kind of leading you sometimes is the best thing to go on. So in corporate America, I spent a lot of time at work, devoting all that time and hours to a company that, they paid me great. However, it wasn't no return on investment as far as the family life goes, outside of taking the trips and things like that. So being an entrepreneur, taking that focus to make sure I have time for my children, have 3 beautiful daughters, pouring into them. Yeah, I'm a girl dad, and I'm
a girl dad too, bro. I feel your pain.
Yes, indeed. I'm looking for the arranged marriage, because it's kind of tight out there for the young ladies.
Oh, yeah.
But being a girl dad, making sure I pour into them, showing them what a lady, how a lady's supposed to be treated, what to expect, and things like that, and then also bringing them part of my what I do career wise. So my daughters are great cooks. From my 10-year-old to my 18-year-old, they have their specialties that they make whenever we go out of town. So I took them to Hawaii, and they tried some of the foods and things. So my middle daughter, she's really, really into it. She's like, Dad, you think I can make this? I said, absolutely.
Okay.
So it's different things that she tried, and I'm like, okay, I have the ingredients. Why don't you come to the kitchen and just play around? She's like, what do you mean by play around? I said, you never know what you'll like or what you'd make up. She came, did those types of things, and she's recreating what she had in Hawaii. I said, now you take that and put your own twist on it. Make it your own. She's like, okay. So those types of things, that's how I really incorporate the family. we got the cumin. So, and they love Mexican food. So cumin is a really big component of Mexican food. So yeah, things like that.
Wow.
But yeah, man, that's what I do for family. And it makes life so much easier because I'm maybe spending time away from home per se, but home is where I'm working at too. So
that's such a beautiful thing. Because I tell folks all the time, when you're going through these relationships and stuff like that, it's a lot of things that you can sit up there and point the finger at each other. But a lot of times you just simply grow apart.
Yes.
And it's an awful thing. But in the same breath, y'all got something that y'all can have together, and y'all got your whole family working towards it. That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yes, sir. And then leaving it for the children too. So letting them see the big picture. I have the business degree, I have all that stuff, but letting them see like, hey, this could be yours. Oftentimes growing up, mom and dad made the money and they never showed you the check.
Oh, yeah.
So they just know that they went to work. So I found it very important to show them this is what daddy's done for the specific job, showing them how we did the shopping, did the prepping, did the cooking, did the setup, the breakdown, all that stuff, but also showing them the check. And this is how it works out. So they can see that their money and their time is worthwhile.
No, I'm with you on that. I had to start showing my daughter the bills too, because she asked for $20 every day.
Absolutely.
Like, Dad, I need some money. I'm like, Lord have mercy. This is what Dad got to pay for.
Yeah.
But so you got the location. You got your family working with you and this type of thing. What does the catering look like? Like, what type of events do you actually cater? Do you go out to like you small intimate things, or you do these big, huge, extravagant events?
All of the above.
Okay.
So we do anything from a date night, couples night for 2 people.
Wow.
We've done up to 1,500 guests for a 2-day event at Georgia State University. So that's one of our clients or whatnot. We do a lot of stuff for schools and anything in between, from bat mitzvahs, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, graduation parties. Weddings, receptions. We have a wedding on the 4th that it grew from 40 guests because of the pandemic when they booked. And we had a discussion last week, and it's like, oh, we need to take it up a few. So now we're at 140 guests. That's no problem. My staff, we're ready for it. So more people getting outside. So we do all of those things, corporate events from meal prep, from the classes to the personal chef experiences, things like that. We do a lot. So yeah.
Now you're doing all this catering, you're cooking and all this type of stuff. I know what everybody in Douglasville want to know. What is the Douglasville dish? Because I don't know what the food is out here. Like every city got their own food. What is the actual Douglasville dish?
Exactly. Exactly. So before I moved to Georgia, Douglasville, I was in Chicago, and I miss Chicago, not the weather, but I do miss the different food buckets they had. You had the Polish, you had the Chinatown, you had the
Chicago
pizza.
Dogs. The pizza, I can't stand that. I don't know.
Well,
I can't get down with folks. With all that sauce, I cannot get down with it. But the dogs, oh my goodness, that's the one thing I miss from being up there.
Yeah, so you got the dogs, you got the gyros, you got the Italian beef, things like that. So you really had all of those things. To Douglasville in Georgia, if you want to go down. So I'm from Arkansas, so I know country cooking. I know the fat back and lard and stuff. We try to stay away from that, but it's really no identity, which is fine because we're such a transplant city. So a lot of people come from different places, and we can appease them on all fronts.
Gumbo's downtown has been always such a staple here in Douglasville and this type of stuff. But still, you talking about transplanting, food from down south to New Orleans and that type of stuff into this area. But like you said, it's no definitive thing. Like some areas, you got chicken and waffles and this type of stuff. You gotta create that for Douglasville, man.
Well, what I do. As a matter of fact, this weekend, shameless plug, I'll be down at Arts and Plaza, down in O'Neill Plaza. So we're getting our menu together for that. When I do the Juneteenth and things like that here locally, I kind of put a little filler out there to see what does well. One thing that we've been doing the last couple of times is our jerk menu, our Caribbean menu. So we'll have our jerk chicken, our jerk shrimp, our jerk salmon. People forget about that portion for the people who don't want to eat the meat and stuff like that, but they still want salmon away from the catfish and tilapia. We don't do that. But so the jerk salmon, we do our rasta pasta, we do our rice and peas, the coconut rice and peas, and that does very, very well. To have a dish that's not just hot to blow your mouth out, but give you some flavor. So we do that.
Jerk is a nice, a very nice type thing, especially if you like the heat. But it just has such a nice spice to it. It's like it's a real good dish.
I like to start off the top of the tongue and then work backwards, and that's what it does. So we kind of cut ours with some pineapple, fresh herbs and things like that. It just makes for, and we actually smoke it. Wow. We're not talking about it in the oven. We smoke it. We pull a big girl out. Got a big Bertha. We pull her out the tow behind grill, and she does her thing. She gets to chewing, smoking, and the flavors just you can't touch it. You can't touch it that way. So we're definitely going to do this weekend our red velvet waffle chicken and waffles. So tested it out last weekend at another event, and it went hands over. Because Belgian waffle give you that crispiness, that softness. I'm sitting there talking. I'm geeking out for a minute, guys. Sorry about that. That's the goal, my friend. So we're doing that. So a lot of people, they like different things. Then hands down, the number one requested dish of ours is our shrimp and grits. Wow. We've done some things at some studios for some different hip hop artists. That they were like, whoa, I don't usually eat grits, but we can keep the party going. So
that's actually something I had no idea was so good. Like the first time, because I'm from Alabama, we kind of funny when it comes to eating and that type of stuff. So the first time I actually tried shrimp and grits, I'm like, I don't know how, but then as soon as I tasted it, I was like, oh man. So that is an awesome dish. And I've seen it nowadays done so many different ways because they got like grit cakes and this type of stuff folks make. So
yeah, I'm more of a creamy grit guy, and no pork in mine. A lot of people do a lot of fillers. They use the sausage or the bacon. You can get any flavor out of bacon. But we don't do that because more and more people are staying away from the pork. So
now tell me this from a business perspective, because nowadays we're in this inflationary period. Food costs is just skyrocketed. Because I just you talked about salmon so much. I can remember actually going to the store and watching the price of it double. Like one actual fillet of salmon went from like $12 to like $20-something. What does that look like for your business, and how do you manage trying to be affordable to people and this type of thing amongst rising food costs and all these different type of things? Because that meat cost is insane.
You hit the nail on the head. That's the number one thing that I'm looking at. Oftentimes, when I send a quote out to a client, I let them know that this is good for 7 days. Otherwise, I have to rerun it because the price of everything is going through the roof. And that's something that I have to look at often. I always try to work hard for my clients, building a menu that's going to be structured for their budget, to respect their budget, but at the same time, working with some of my vendors to, get some pricing down, because we do such volume. We can reach out to the people that we're getting our supplies from, and they kind of work us out a discount so we can keep using them. I like to use the same products because I'm expecting the same results each and every time.
Wow.
So yeah. And then it's crazy that salmon and catfish pricing is not too far away. That used to be the opposite. You can get catfish like a lot cheaper than than the salmon, but catfish is just, just overall, you have to look at that. Why be very strategic about it. A lot of people call me like, what's the price? I can't give you the price. Depends on what you desire. I'll get it together. I'm very fair with you, and I'll send it out to them. And we win more than we lose. So
okay. Well, that's the recipe for success, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, you got your catering business. You got the office part. Where does the office rental space come in at?
Office rental space, we saw an opportunity because before we got the kitchen, my wife and I was renting offices to run our business out of. And one place was really, really nice. We actually did the whole thing up. Just the neighbors were not what we desired in order for us to bring a client in. So we moved to another place and we just outgrew it. So that the whole reason and concept behind the kitchen that we rented is out of a need, a necessity. We were renting kitchen from people, and it just didn't work well because number one, they didn't have the product. Didn't have the everything we needed as far as the kitchen. Oh my gosh, blank. The refrigeration, the stove, and all that kind of appliances.
No, a lot goes into food service.
Yes, indeed. From the flooring to the heating, cooling, things like that. It wasn't what we wanted. Food truck. I was either going to do a food truck or do the kitchen. But if I got the food truck, I'll still be in the same situation where I need a kitchen to work out of to be compliant with the health department, things like that. So I definitely chose the kitchen, and I'm able to help other people out who has the food truck but don't have a place to prepare it. And then the office space, same thing. It was a need, necessity to have somewhere that's quiet, that's clean. It's going to tailor to what my clients are their clients are looking for, and the space to come in and don't have to worry about certain things rolling around or the noise and things like that. So it was definitely a necessity. So we saw an opportunity to help some other businesses out. So we have three offices that we've rented out. As soon as we posted it, we had to tell people, I'm sorry, it's not available. Within like 25 minutes, all three of them were booked out. Yeah, that was a good problem to have. So
now tell me this, because one thing I do know about entrepreneurs, a lot of how you were brought up as into the success that you have in adulthood. What was your childhood like?
Childhood, oldest of three. But structure came from football. I played football all the way through college, from 5 years old. So we started really young in Arkansas, and having that discipline, that structure, knowing that hard work is going to give you certain results, things like that. A lot of success in football and college and things like that. But that really, really helped. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, who was an awesome cook. God rest her soul. I still have her cast iron skillet that was given to me, and nobody can touch that. That's mine.
And you cook out of that to this day?
Absolutely. If I make, and I like to do them, playing around in the kitchen. I'll make some cornbread, the same batch. I'll put some in her skillet and some in another skillet, and have you do a taste test. That seasoning's for real. The seasoning that's in there, and I'm cooking with love, and I just feel her in that skillet. But I spend a lot of time with people who cook those types of things. My aunt makes amazing lasagna. We from Arkansas country, but she make a lasagna that I'm like, okay, so those types of things.
Those in the country can cook, bro.
Oh
like all kind of dishes.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen the strength in people who cook. My grandmother took that chicken and did what it had to do to that chicken. I'm like, okay, I was scared at that point in time. So just those types of things really built a foundation of making sure that I love the fact of how people felt when they came to her house. She showed love. It's the Southern culture that when you come here, have at it. You see something, you have it. Where after church, it'll go from, oh, you didn't cook anything, to an hour and a half later, where all this food come from? She understood the canning and all that kind of stuff. So she made things happen, and she loved to see people smile. And that's what I do with my food. I just want to, make people smile.
That's one thing about a great meal, man, to bring folks together.
Yes, indeed. That is true. And we, my family, we kind of talked about this earlier. That Sunday dinner, we still try to do that. It's just, it does something to have that family around the table to talk about different things, devices down. This is our time just to see what's going on, checking in, because the kids nowadays are a little bit different from us.
Sick of that, man. Everybody sitting at the family table and this type of stuff. Everybody on their phone doing this, and then what makes it so bad? Mom and Daddy doing the same thing.
Yes,
I don't play that.
So we have to be cognitive.
If you want to eat, you better put that phone on.
We're cognitive. You have all these other days but today is going to be family day. So yes.
So what's the future like for you, man? What do you hope Sankofa goes to?
Man, the next level for Sankofa is just building upon what we have already. But also, I have a lot of clients who are in television, radio, and film. Getting some of those to put Sankofa out there even further. But stagnant growth, I want to make sure that we're ready to receive and handle all of that, because some people just grow too fast. And I'm one who's done that once before. Hey, I learned, I'm like, okay, that was too much. I need to make sure I take a step back. So getting to the next level, and then encouraging and having a pipeline of young people who kind of look like me and you, who's not afraid to get in the kitchen, because me personally, you see the young people out here who don't know how to boil water. That's a problem. Young men who like, oh, I can't cook this. It's okay. Get rid of the stigma that that's a female job or whatnot.
It's not,
because it makes a difference.
A single dad, trust me, I'm the one do the cooking.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And there's nothing like having an old school. There's food at home, where you can actually have high quality food at home, as opposed to going to these restaurants and you never know what you're getting. So that's the thing. I want to make sure that we're building for the future with our young people. Having those classes, really offering those classes to make sure that they are comfortable in the kitchen, comfortable working with the utensils, specifically knives and stuff, and not afraid to experiment and taking that to the next level. So, yeah.
Well, I definitely know you're coming by, man, to get some cooking classes. Now, if anybody that is watching today and they want to get in contact with you, they want to get your services, they want to rent an office, they want to learn how to cook, how can folks get in contact with you and start doing business with you?
All right. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, at Chef Shu Washington on Instagram. On Facebook, we're Sankofa Catering, or you can just reach us on our website at www.chefshu.com. And that's SHU.
I was going to say, you're going to have to spell that one.
Yes. chefshu.com. That's where we're fine. Our classes and everything will be local. Our web designer is actually building it out, putting it on an events tab. So they can go there and click the events, and they can always contact me directly that way. So Instagram, Facebook, our TikTok, we're building a lot of stories. So it's going to be rolling out really, really, really soon.
All right. Yeah. Now, what's the next thing that you got coming up? You say you guys doing your own event. So what's one of the next events you got coming up?
I have an event this evening for a local business here that they have.
I was not invited prior. I'm just let y'all know that. That's all right.
Yeah. So this is this ongoing every single month. They have their business meeting, and we come in and provide the food, refreshments for them. Doing that. But this Saturday we're going to be down in O'Neill Plaza, downtown Douglasville. Shameless plug. And it's arts in the park, which is down in O'Neill Plaza from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And this is we do a lot of one thing I didn't touch on, which I should have. We do a lot of giving back. Part of that Sankofa is reaching back. Don't forget where you came from. There's a couple orphanages in West Africa that we sponsor.
Wow.
So my wife goes there 3 or 4 times a year. I try to make it every year or every other year or whatnot. But we definitely send resources back. Anywhere from food to personal hygiene products and medicines, things like that. So it goes back that way. There's a school here where some of the principals are my clients, and they expressed a need yesterday. I told them to send me what they need, and I can reach out to some of my people, because we love to give back. The students are in arrears for their meals, and they won't get especially the seniors. They will not graduate if they owe money for school lunches, which you and I know that's sad. So we're working on getting some monies for that. But so those are some things that we always want to do, is give back, reach back, and don't forget where we came from.
That is a beautiful thing. And anybody watching, like I say, anybody that needs catering service, y'all got events coming up. I promise y'all, I wish I had been able to taste the food today, but I'm sure
it's still young, man. The day's still young. So
I'm gonna go eat somebody today. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what it's like. But now y'all make sure y'all check this brother out. ChefShu.com. That's Chef ChefSHU.com. Check him out if y'all got events coming up, because I know a lot of y'all out there do events and entertainment and this type of stuff, and y'all need good food at y'all events. I want y'all to check this man out. Once again, man, just tell folks what you offer, and just tell them a little bit about some of the menus that you offer, so folks can get an idea of what they can receive.
Okay, so we offer of course, the personal chef. We also do meal prep, weekly meal prep. So the ones who don't have time to cook, we got you covered. We have a new menu that comes out every single week on Thursdays, and you can pick what you want from that menu. We have a classic menu, a keto menu as well for the people watching those carbs. Then we have a plant-based menu as well on there. We offer the cooking classes, which we've touched on several times. We do, small events from 2 people, personal dining, to 150 people with the corporate events. But our bread and butter is the smaller, intimate events where we can really get to know people. And I love the culinary experiences. When I have a client who I want to propose, or it's our anniversary, we don't want to go. We'll bring the business. We'll bring the kitchen to you. We come in. We cook in your kitchen. We'll give you some pointers on how to make things. Like everyone makes a great salmon or a steak. Showing them like it really doesn't take all that. I got you, and show you a couple of things. Like I never thought about that. Okay. But sometimes we overdo things, and just walking through it with them. So those are some of the things that we offer, man.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, once again, man, thank you so much for coming in and joining me right here on the #1 rated business show today, man. And like I say, y'all, please go check this brother out, because I promise y'all, you will not be disappointed. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining us right here on the #1 rated business show. We getting it together.
Yes, indeed.
But no, man, thank you so much for coming in, man. And like next time you come, you should really bring some food.
Oh man, you say what they say less. I got you covered. No problem.
So when the cooking class is coming up, because I definitely want to come over and take a few lessons myself.
We're gonna start that first of the year. We have a few things going on right now, but first of the year is gonna be hard pressing.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I'm having it. All right. I'm committed to coming out there and bring the cameras with me so everybody can understand what the experience is like, so we can get more folks coming out here.
We can do a private one for you. There's no problem at all, man. You invited me to your house, I invite you to my house. And guess what? There will be food.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of the #1 rated business show. Thank everybody so much for joining us all over the internet and all over the world. And we are